everyone, and welcome back to the No Stipulations podcast, the podcast where we talk about one of our favorite things, that being professional wrestling. I am Brendon Smith, joined along with my co-host, Mr. Logan Leving, and tonight we are going to take you through the Smackdown after WrestleMania, the NXT after, and also the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Not the
No,
Raw
it's
after
definitely
Mania, but the Raw after WrestleMania after the Raw after WrestleMania.
it's definitely a Raw after WrestleMania. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
Welcome back, Brendon. I'm glad to have
Thank
you
you.
back, buddy.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. Stay just a little week absence, getting his stuff right. You
Yeah,
guys listening?
sometimes you got to get your mental right before you come back to do things, and thankfully I got good enough friends on the podcast that can allow me to do stuff like that.
And thankfully, I think we've hopefully permanently figured out our audio issues.
Yes,
So
it should be a lot better moving forward. What number are we on right now? We're on episode 13.
13, that's what the script says.
Lucky number 13.
Oh boy. Uh, hopefully, lucky number 13.
But do you want to get us started with SmackDown after Mania?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So start off the show just like like the new champion does. Cena came out. He gave his little speech. He had Mark Nash redo the announcement. And I want to say Mark Nash is doing a fantastic job.
He is. He's doing a very good job. Of course, he has a long and storied career with Vegas Entertainment and the Vegas Golden
Yeah,
Knights, and they had to do it with Raw, with WrestleMania in Vegas.
yeah, absolutely. But I don't even think it's just for Vegas. I think he's just going to be a fixture of the SmackDown going forward.
Yeah, I think so too. But it definitely uh helped a little bit, right?
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, Cena does a segment. He goes speak. Randy's music hits. Randy basically told him, "You should have kids, bro." And John's like, "How dare you?" So it felt like two bros just dicking around. Just
I,
like, how dare you
Man,
say I don't have kids?
I was shocked whenever he said you need to have some kids. I was quite shocked whenever he said that.
To an extent, I was too, but also like, I'm I'm sure that he's comfortable enough with his stance on it that when they brought it up,
Yeah,
he was
and
like, "Yeah,
Cena had
sure."
an excellent comeback. He said the reason why I don't want any kids is because I've been raising the WWE Universe's children for 25 years.
And then a kid flipped him off.
Ah.
Kid
And he
flipped him
called
off.
out the kid and the
Like real
dad.
classy kid. God. But yeah, Randy said, John, you're an idiot. I'm an idiot for thinking you would listen to me. Wrestling's everything to me. John said, we should have a match, but not here in your hometown in St. Louis at Backlash. And he kind of just goes on about how he's going to be the last real champion. Says, Randy, you're going to be stuck at 14, and when you win a new one, you restart at 1. And I'm going to erase your family legacy, all 3 generations. And Randy, how dare you? Cena throws a belt and a fist. Randy hits an RKO and he leaves.
Yes, and
So I think that was our first confirmed match for Backlash.
yes, that was our first confirmed match for Backlash, and we see the graphic after.
Yeah, because it was made. I mean, he was on the poster. I think we all kind of figured it was going to happen. It's in
Yeah.
St. Louis, so it would be silly for him not to.
And next we have Los Garza versus Fraxium. It seems Fraxium has gotten the call to the big dance in
I'm
WWE, and
shocked they went to SmackDown.
yeah, the tag division in SmackDown is already so stacked. I would have thought for sure they would have went to Raw.
Are we going to get our 6-pack ladder match at least? I hope
Man,
we're
I
gonna
hope
talk about
so.
a ladder match later, but with these guys being, I'm shocked that they went to SmackDown. Raw needs them,
I would
but
agree.
I wonder if this is just like a temporary thing until the draft because we've seen Braun had a match on SmackDown before he got called up. Uh, Ilya, Roxanne, Lyra, all these people they have matches on brands, but I don't know if it's going to be a permanent fixture. Maybe they'll get drafted to Raw officially. When
Yeah,
is the draft?
I don't know. They haven't announced it, but I certainly
We'll
think
see.
it will be after Backlash, right?
Yeah, it's usually early summer. The 2025 draft was right around now, actually. says April 27th and 28th, which is
I
just
mean,
not true.
the real life NFL draft just finished.
It did. We're not going to talk about that because I don't want to launch into a 55-minute rant about Mickey Loomis.
I don't like that man either. We'll leave our current uh what is the word, opinions about how the Saints drafted to ourselves, but let's just say it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but it wasn't great either. Anyway, we talk about Los Garza and Fraxium. Los Garza, I think they're good, but there's no like middle division on to SmackDown. It's not like they
Yeah.
can have mid card tag titles, but they're a good like middle of the card team. They can hang with the big guys, but you also have the big guys, so it's like, what are you gonna do here?
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like they're kind of stuck at like the lower tag team division.
Yeah, it's a hard place to be. That's why I think the draft they're gonna need to reshuffle some tag teams, put some of that talent on Raw.
Yeah, and I thought for sure that they would have been in the mix for that tag team feud, but it seems like they were in it one week and then they were out the next.
I don't even know, man. But Fraxium, they won their debut. They got the I'm gonna start calling it the Spanish Phoenix because they do the Spanish Fly and then the Phoenix Splash. I think a Spanish Phoenix is a good tag team finisher name.
I like that name too. I think it can be a good name for the move.
I mean, we bullied WWE into making Fraxium a thing,
That's
so we could
true.
bully them into making it the Spanish Phoenix.
They've
I
bullied
was,
them into changing a lot of things.
oh boy, did they talk about where the hell was this? Not Delaware. Where Daniel Bryan turned on Bray.
Oh, Rhode Island, Providence.
I knew it was one of those small states. But yeah, I think Fraxium they're gonna be great. I kind of want them to break them up, but also not. You know,
Give them their
like
WrestleMania 42 match.
they're one of those tag teams where I feel like I want them both to succeed as single stars, but also to stay together. If that makes
You
sense.
know, kind of
Kind of
like
like
Penta and Ray Phoenix right now, huh?
yeah, they haven't really formed their tag team in WWE yet, and I feel like it's gonna be some time before that happens. But I want them to kind of be. I'm going to stand by this. I think Fraxium can be the new generation, the new Hardys for this generation.
Yeah,
Does that make
I can
sense?
see that. Yeah,
They're just the fun, exciting tag team who does a bunch of crazy stuff and gets the crowd going. I don't know, but Tiffany came out. This is a SmackDown after WrestleMania. She defended her title against Charlotte. And she just started doing the usual talk about I'm the best, I beat Charlotte, which means da 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 da. And Jade Cargill's music hits. She talks back, and then a ref comes out, and it seems like this match is going to happen right here and right now. There was a lot of good offense back and forth, but Naomi came out. She attacked Jade, which ended the match in DQ. But after that, Nia Jax came out and attacked Tiffany Stratton.
hmm.
Are we really running this feud again?
I don't want to see this feud again, but
I like Nia and all, but like
I'm
again?
I'm just gonna see where it's gonna go.
Uh, I think a lot of Triple H's booking is kind of just throwing crap at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
I think if she wanted to get her match again, it should have been after she lost the title.
Right. And she lost the contender match to Bailey, didn't she?
Did she?
I think there was a fatal four-way number one contenders
There
match
might have been.
and she lost. Or maybe she was held out of that whole match. I can't remember. If I'm being completely honest with you. But I'm surprised that they're continuing with the Tiffany and Naomi feud, the Naomi and Jade feud. Excuse me. It feels like Mania is usually the blow off for these things,
Yeah,
but
I can see it, but you got to think with some of the way that like they run some of these feuds back, they usually have the babyface win and then the heel very pissed off wants to get their win back. So I can see this thing going for three matches against each other.
that wouldn't surprise me. But also, it just I don't know.
Maybe you
Uh,
see Jade and Naomi in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
I would not mind that. My agenda is still Naomi winning Money in the Bank.
I agree. I think she needs to win that briefcase.
I think she deserves it, honestly. But yeah, it's I'm all for the women's feuds getting more TV time, but we're just doing these again. I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
whatever.
Walk with the last. But after that, we get a U.S. title segment. Jacob, he comes out with Solo, and Solo introduces him, and Jacob says, uh, Solo, excuse me, Solo says Jacob wouldn't be here if it not be for him. And Jacob takes the mic. He says some stuff. Yada
Yeah, I
mean.
mean,
Then LA's music hits. He says, "Let me talk to you." Yeah, all that good stuff.
I honestly don't remember if that's what he said. I just wrote that. I just started writing catchphrases here.
um,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Let me talk to you. Yeah.
he gives Jacob credit for eating the BFT, like Knight said he would, but um, Knight's gonna take back that U.S. title. Then Drew's music hits. Does his usual bit about getting screwed. Blah blah blah. Knight sits on the turnbuckles and he says blah blah blah. Drew gets in the ring at Knight's request, but Pierce comes out and makes this match official for the number one contendership.
Yeah, that was something. When I said he says blah blah blah, like he literally said blah blah blah. I just think that's funny. Um Drew in a US title picture? Really?
he doesn't he doesn't belong in the mid card anymore.
No, he doesn't. So like why are we putting him on SmackDown if he's not going after the main award
I
here?
think you're gonna see him move to Raw again, even though they just moved him.
I think they moved him to SmackDown with the intention of him becoming a bloodline hunter, but then they just kept shuffling cards and now he's on SmackDown with really no purpose.
Yeah, if he's now fighting for the undisputed championship, there's not really a point. So just move him to Raw.
At this point. Yeah. Give him something to work with because he's put in the work, dude. Drew deserves to have like a full world title reign in front of the
Yeah.
crowd.
He'd also be another good contender for Money in the Bank. Actually, give him the
Well,
briefcase this time.
he just won it last year. I don't know that they're gonna do that again. I don't know. Whatever. But backstage, there was an interview with Byron Saxton and Zelina Vega. Zelina just kind of said, like her mentors, Ray and Eddie, she wants to bring some Latino heat. And I guess I'll just talk about the match here. Back and forth, near false start. Alba caused a distraction. Piper hit Zelina, but the ref noticed, threw the Hervis out. And Zelina hit a code red for the win. She's the new women's U.S. champion.
I knew we would get here somehow, baby. I knew it would happen.
I am ecstatic for Zelina, but this just was so anticlimactic.
I don't know. Hopefully they just decide to run this back.
When I'm not kidding. I said I sat down to watch this. I hadn't seen spoilers on Twitter because I was at like a party or something. So I sat down to watch this, and my first reaction was, "What? They just did it like that?" And I guess I wanted Zelina. I've been very clear how I wanted Zelina Vega to win the title here. How she should have won a title to begin with, but at the same time, it's like this. It just didn't feel like it mattered. I guess.
I don't know. It might have just been like you can't get enough good stories with Chelsea, which I think is BS, by the way. I think they definitely could have found some better creative for her, but I think, I don't know, maybe it was time for a change of scenery with the belt. I don't know.
Well, now it's what do you do with the secret Hervis? Because her whole gimmick was she was President Green. She had her bodyguards.
I'm not
Now
sure.
what?
Money in the Bank? Don't know.
Ha.
Chelsea in the
Uh,
Bank?
good gravy.
I don't know. My whole solution is just put the briefcase on him.
I was looking at the pay-per-view list, and there's nothing going on in July.
Yeah, there really isn't. Um,
Like there's usually a
June is the Money in the Bank event, right?
yeah, and maybe it's gonna be Is it Evolve? Maybe they're gonna do Evolve in July. When are the Saudi
Evolution.
shows? Yeah, that's what I meant. When are the Saudi shows? Because I think they're going. I think a reason they're considering this is because they're going back to that part of Saudi Arabia where they don't mess with women in the way that.
Doing Evolution in Saudi Arabia would be a huge disservice to those women.
No, I'm not saying they're going to do it in Saudi.
Oh.
I'm saying that because WWE is going to the reason they did the first Evolution was because they went to a part of Saudi Arabia where they just didn't let the women compete.
Oh, I gotcha.
So I feel like if they're going to go to that part of Saudi Arabia again, then it would make sense to have another Evolve show, which Roman Reigns is probably still going to find a way to main event for the what the hell is the word I'm looking for here for the. I think I just need to be thrown into something.
I don't know, but take us through the next segment.
Hang on, I'm still looking through the things. Oh, this says Evolutions for July 5th, 2025.
Has it been confirmed?
I didn't see it confirmed.
It's probably dirt sheets.
I'm on smarkoutmoment.com.
A very credible source.
Oh yeah. Got Clash in Paris, No Mercy. Did you see Survivor Series is in Petco Park?
Yeah, home of the Padres. Do you think Ray's gonna have a retirement match there since it's in San Diego?
I doubt his retirement match is going to be at Survivor Series.
But it's in San Diego.
They could also have another WrestleMania, like another big show in
Think
San
of how
Diego.
much merch they could sell.
I don't want anybody to retire Ray but Dominic. I feel like that's the only way you can do it.
For the IC title. One last
Um,
time.
what the hell was I talking about before this? Um, Petco Park doesn't have a roof, so are they not going to do War Games this year?
I think they build their own canopy and then they lower the cage itself.
That wouldn't surprise me, but
That's what they
also I
did
don't.
with 28. It was in Dolphin Stadium. They did Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, but I also just don't want to see War Games again.
It hurt too many people last year, but I love the stipulation.
It hurt like four of the guys. It took out Tongaloa, it took out Bronson Reed, it hurt Big Jim, and
Yeah, it
who
hurt like
else? There was
3
one other guy.
people.
I think it hurt one of the women, didn't it?
I'm not sure, but the men's match it absolutely tore through people.
Bronson Reed, come back, big fella. Can't wait. Can't wait to see you return. But this is your segment, actually,
Oh,
Brendon.
sorry. Next we got Mello Don't Miz. Mello's talking backstage about his win. Miz said he sacrificed himself for Mello in the Battle Royal, and Miz gifts Mello with an Andre the Giant pendant. And Miz goes out there to stake his claim again to become a champion again.
I am all for Miz. Well, I'm all for Mello getting a bunch of TV time. But like let's move on with this already. Let's do something other than Mello don't Miz. All right? Come on, guys. Give him something to work with. Put the US strap on him. Oh, he's
Or
probably not. He's probably no, don't say it again, Brendon. I'm going to slap you.
I love ladder matches, and
I'm
I
going to
love
slap
the
you.
briefcase.
I'm going to slap you. Moving on. Guess who's back? Miz, he does his usual I'm awesome, look at me, how cool I am. Look at
I
how cool
beat
I am
John
promo.
Cena in the main event of WrestleMania.
I'm awesome. And then the lights go down, and this is surprising to me. A familiar sounding theme song plays. One man rises from the smoke by the entrance ramp. Aleister Black is back. No one was surprised that Aleister Black came back. Miz tried talking. He ate a black mass, and Aleister took his seat in the middle of the ring. Wasn't that his old theme?
It might have been. I'm not sure.
That was surprising to me. I was like, wait a minute. Why does that actually not sound like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life?
It's probably because Def Rebel didn't make it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was wondering. I think I was watching that TV on a low volume because I didn't hear them pop for Alistair at all. But then
No,
I
no,
listened to
you
the
weren't
then I
wrong.
listened
They
to
did not cheer for Alistair at all. And this
well, no, then
crowd,
I listened to the Twitter video and it was much louder. I don't know.
I don't know, the crowds for SmackDown and Raw this week were pretty bad,
Eeks.
especially Raw.
Oh boy.
But after that, we got a number one contender match for the U.S. title. It's Drew
Nope,
McIntyre versus
nope,
LA Knight.
nope. You skipped one.
Oh, excuse me. I'll read both of these segments then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Backstage, we're coming back from commercial. Bianca's back on SmackDown, showing off her broken fingers and talking about how Rhea has been weaseling her way into the match, but she had to focus on her divided house right now. Cut to Naomi walking. Nia tells her to stay out of her way, and Naomi says she will as long as Nia proceeds with caution.
It was
Yeah.
kind of funny to me as like Naomi walked away, and I was just kind of looking at her like, "Who the hell are you? Where did that come from?" Just kind of one of those things where the nice kid just snaps at you and like, "Whoa, I didn't know you had that in you, big guy."
Yeah. I
All
didn't
right,
know you had the
relax.
facilities for that, big man.
God, I'm not gonna say this, and I'm not gonna mean it on the podcast, but I have had my problems with the British. They can be hilarious. Some of the just the way they talk makes the
They're
most simple
cartoon
things
people.
funny.
You
Okay,
can't tell me
okay,
that they actually exist.
okay, okay, Brendan. Let's not go that far, man.
Sorry to offend any of our British listeners, but they're quite
I will
comical at times.
say who I'm not afraid to offend: the French. Go to hell. I hate the French. Anyway,
Sacre bleu.
um, yeah. Then we had the number one contenders match for the U.S. Championship. Um, Solo actually spiked Knight, and this is great facial acting from Drew. You could see the conflict. He's like, wait a minute, did a Samoan just help me? What do I do? I take this, or do I tell him to f himself and do my own thing? But he went for his own thing, lined up for the Claymore, and he got pulled out of the ring by Damian Priest. Don't get me wrong, I love Damian, but like, why are you back already? You just had a street fight, man. Go back home, please. Go home.
Yeah.
At
Um.
least try to keep kayfabe a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But then Jacob actually came out later in his shiesty, and he dove out into the ring. He just took everyone out.
Bro,
God,
I love Jacob.
he's the funniest human alive. He doesn't even have to try. He just does his bullshit and lives. Oh, good God Almighty. Um, we had Cena actually. We had went backstage. Cena was walking. They found R-Truth, and I've been waiting for this ever since Cena started his retirement tour. Where the hell have you been, R-Truth? Just I don't know. He congratulated Cena. He says he's got his back. Jimmy says, "Hey, when did Cena become whack?" And Truth was like, "When I grow up, I want to be just like John Cena." And as he walks away, Jimmy's like, "You're already grown up." It just drives me nuts. Because why are they funny? Why are they so funny for just no reason at all? You know what I mean? God. Um, had TLC for the tag titles. And my first question here, why the hell was this not on the WrestleMania card? Because this is just an incredible match. I don't know what the hell we were doing here. First of all, rip to Ciampa's beard, because God, he looks like a monster with this. It's horrifying. This whole match was on some shit, I gotta tell you. Um, yeah. Bodies were flying the entire time. It was a diving, like a suicide dive blockbuster over the top rope from Montez. Champa got put through a ladder at one point, I'm pretty sure. There was a skull and bones through a table. Johnny went back down onto a ladder, onto the tops of two chairs. My God. My God, that didn't look pleasant at all. Ford grabbed someone's prosthetic leg out of the crowd. Hello, what are we doing here? Um,
I loved that frickin' spot so much.
it's so stupid, but it's awesome because I do wonder if Montez was like, "Hey, give me that," or if the guy was like, "Use my leg."
No, it was
No,
definitely like a "Hey, use my leg" type moment.
God, Montez Ford deserves everything and then some. He's
If he
great.
wasn't in the tag division, I could honestly see him making a run at the U.S. title.
He still could. Why the hell not?
I don't know. I feel like he's got to finish Street Profit business before he does that.
Hmm, why not do both? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, Champa put Ford through the ladder with white noise, which like ow, first of all. And he climbed the ladder. He got that and it got pulled away by MCMG, and they just started whacking him like a pinata. That was hilarious to me. It just started beating the crap out of him. Dawkins climbed that ladder and he speared Champa through the table. I thought Dawkins might have like broken his ankle. That was an ugly landing. It was it was not a good landing.
Yeah,
Uh
for sure.
yeah. Sabin, Gargano, they both made the climb. Montez knocked him down. Johnny recovered and he pulled Montez down, kicked him in the head. It looked to me, I don't know if it's just a good camera angle or good work by both men. I thought Johnny like actually kicked him in the back of the head. It sure looked like it. But those guys climbed again, and Montez climbed the side of the ladder. He knocked both men off, hitting them in the head. He grabbed the titles to retain. Why was this not on the WrestleMania card?
I don't know, man. I honestly don't know.
I just I can't conceive a world like even for business sake. Why was this not on the? This would have done numbers. It did do numbers, but it would have done numbers at WrestleMania. It would have saved night one, first of all. But my God, man, why? I don't know. I move on.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Monday Night Raw in Kansas City, Missouri. Nick
Oh,
Aldis is
brother.
stepping in for Adam Pearce, like Pearce did on SmackDown, and we start the show with Paul, Seth, and Braun in the middle of the ring.
They really got Braun in a suit for this shit.
He looks good in the suit. It's a lot better
Not,
than like
not,
his like
not with,
other merch.
not with that fugly ass spray tan.
His spray tan, it's hit or miss. I think some part of it is lighting.
It was a miss this week.
Yeah, the spray tan did not look good.
Him
He
and
overdid it.
Paul, and he looks fine without it. I don't know why we even spray tan. Let the pale people thrive. Look at Sheamus. Where is Sheamus, by the way?
Hell if
What
I
is he
know.
doing?
Hopefully he comes back for Clash or something.
Where's Kaiser? Where are these guys?
Oh, Kaiser was featured on Commercial Break. You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, they don't show it to us in America, so that's one reason why we don't like you Brits and French.
Oh, brother.
We can never see Ludwig Kaiser. Or A-Town Down Under. They were also on commercial.
I don't. I could care less, honestly.
Oh, come on.
I don't really care about them. If I'm being completely honest with you.
But,
Anyway,
Seth welcomes everyone to Monday Night Rollins and talks about the future of the business, how it runs through him. Then Sammy's music hits. Seth welcomes Sammy back and asks if he caught Manius. Sammy says he saw the main event, and Sammy talks about how long they've been friends and how it's bull that he's doing exactly what Roman Reigns and CM Punk are doing because he's got the one thing that they have in common standing over his shoulder and Paul
Paul
Heyman.
Heyman.
Yeah, Seth says Sammy is either with them or he's a target. Seth tells Paul to pull some strings so they can give Sammy an out to go to SmackDown, but they need the decision before the end of the night.
This has to set up for. I guess we're gonna talk about this in the main event, but this just feels like it's with the Rumble gonna be in Saudi next year. This feels like it's just a cakewalk for Sammy to walk his way into a world title, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sammy's gonna have to win that world title in NOLA.
God, what I wouldn't give to be there when that happens.
Dude, we're trying to save money for tickets.
The SummerSlam tickets are 40 grand for front row seats.
That's ludicrous. That is absolutely insane. They've lost touch with their
No,
fan base.
this is ludicrous. I'll just edit in a picture of Ludacris to the video real quick.
Yeah, that's ludicrous, and that's also more editing I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah.
Sake. There's another one.
We had a match after this. Rhea and Roxanne. It's good to see Roxy back in main roster action. Did you see the photos last week of her debut patch on her boot?
Yeah, the patches. Yeah, that was
Again,
quite interesting.
we're gonna get into this more when we get to the end of the show. But also, it's good to see her back here. I am gonna stick with this until the day I die. If Roxanne and Julia are coming up to Raw, and this Paul Heyman group needs another couple of people, put them with them. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
I concur.
I've been on the Heyman should manage Julia train for ever since she came to WWE. Honestly, just imagine that intro. That'd be awesome.
I'd love it.
But yeah, these are just two excellent workers in this match. Roxy went after the knee the entire match. Rhea sold it like hell. Julia came out to taunt Rhea. And Roxanne went for Pop Rock. She ate a headbutt. Rhea loaded for Riptide. Julia attacked her, ended the match in DQ. They jumped Rhea. Io came out after the usual babyface heel shenanigans.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
do wonder with these two potentially going to Raw if they're going to be like slotted into the main picture quick.
Yeah, you gotta think that, right? Julia and Roxanne. I mean, they've
Right.
made a killing on NXT.
Yeah, definitely. Two of the more talented women in that division, and it's just there's so much depth in the women's division that if you don't feature somebody on TV, somebody's going to be upset, and for good reason.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna anger the IWC.
Oh God, we don't talk about them. We don't talk about them. No, no, no. Disney's probably gonna copyright strike those 2 seconds or something. But yeah, I just because with the midgard titles now, it's not just are you going to be in the title picture or not with these call ups. We had Judgment Day after that in their locker room. JD was back. Finn was surprised to see him return. JD said, "I told Dominic," and Finn gave you that look. You know the look that says, "Right, yeah, that guy." Liv came in. She announced some things. Finn and JD have a match with the War Raiders for the contenders, for the number one contenders for the tag titles. And Liv was like, "I thought it was a good idea since you're not champion." And Finn again's just like, "Right, totally, sure, yeah, why the hell not?" Carlito says, "Hey, then we'll all be champions. I should be champ. That would be cool." He just runs away to go and try to grab some gold.
Never have I seen a person try and gaslight themselves before.
That's what's happening here. Yeah. Like, I should be champion. That would be cool.
He hit his head a
No.
little too hard after that Braun Breaker spear.
Now he hit his head diving over the announce desk to get away from the next one. Oh god, not this next segment.
Yeah, I'll take it from here. Basically, Logan Paul calls out Jay. Jay calls out Logan. Yada yada yada. If you want this title, you're gonna have to take it from me. And apparently, there's gonna be a world title match at Backlash.
Why is this Jay's first defense? Who's gonna wrestle in
Easy
this
win. I
match?
don't know. Fuck,
Who's
I
gonna
don't know.
wrestle in this match? There's no wrestling in this wrestling match. It's a spot cat and a guy who just can't hoop like that. What are we
Bro,
doing?
I swear, if Logan has to carry Jay through this match, that
If Logan, I do not want to live in a world where Logan Paul is a world champion.
me neither.
I was here. I'll read you a text log I had with my friend about Logan Paul. He
It probably
here we
started
go.
with like, yeah, Logan Paul, he's wrestling, right? And you're like, let me tell you about this motherfucker.
No, I uh said I don't want to live in a world where Logan Paul is world champion. That's worse than David Arquette, and I mean that. He said, "What if it leads to Karrion Kross as champ?" I said, "It's not worth it, not even close." He said, "Oh, it's 100% worth it." I said, "If the reign was less than a week, maybe, but probably no." He said, "Logan Paul is going to be a world champion at some point. It's inevitable." And I said, "And when that day comes, I got something for Baldy." And it's just a video I sent of somebody blowing themselves up. I'll send you that so you can
Oh
edit that
yeah,
in.
I've seen that video. You've sent it
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. I'll,
It's
you
from
can edit that
I
in.
think it's from Batman Arkham.
Maybe I don't know. You can edit that in, and we can make a TikTok of it.
Probably,
I
probably
said
not.
Logan Paul being champion might kill my love for the sport. He said it won't be that bad. Worse people have been champion. I said I don't know about that. He said Vince was champion. I said for all
Both
his faults,
Vinces.
for for all his fault, Vince actually loved wrestling. Logan Paul can't say that. He said Jinder was champion. I said respect the Maharaja. He said Jack Swagger was champion. I didn't touch that. And then he said Alberto Del Rio was champion. I said, all right, I'll give you that.
Yeah, there's been some bad champions out there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd hate any of them as much as this guy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hate this. I will hurt somebody. Probably myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a number one contender match for the US for the NXT for tag team champions. Judgment Day War Raiders. New Day on commentary at ringside. It's good to see JD back doing his moonsault BS. Carlito distracted the ref at the end, but then Pent came in, knocked JD off the ropes. War Machine to McDonough, and the War Raiders win. Has there ever been a feud where, like, the underdog or the unsuspected victors come out, and then the former champion, just completely decimates them the next time they fight so you can have the title back?
Fuck, fine. Probably that GIF where John Cena fights Rey Mysterio.
That was at least like a 15-minute match.
That GIF is hilarious. That whole
It
title
is.
ring can be described in like 8 seconds.
I don't even remember the context of it. Did Ray like just win the title the day
Yes, he
before?
just won the title and Cena faced him the same night on Raw.
Oh my god, it was the same night. That's right.
Cena's always been a heel, man.
God, it's so funny.
It's like, congrats, champ. How would you like a match tonight? No, John, I don't think I want a fucking match tonight.
Oh god.
You got your match, John.
And it's just Ray looking around like, what? The part of the gift that gets me is the end where John's shaking his hand, but then he hits another AA. And he picks up the title like he fought and died for it. Oh, which title was that? Like 12?
That was the night Punk ran away with the title, or the Raw after.
Well, no, I mean like what number title was that for Cena?
Oh fuck, I know.
Quick research.
That was. I don't know. I don't know. It's the 10th title.
Okay, Raw 25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are the people he beat: JBL, Edge, Jericho, Edge, Orton, Sheamus, Batista, Miz, Mysterio. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I was close. I was close. Oh boy. Yeah, that was title win number 11 for Big Match John, who completely shat the bed in his big match at WrestleMania. But anyway,
Yeah, let's move on. And we're in the locker room, and Sammy's talking with Otis. Paul Heyman comes in and he asks for some privacy. He tells Sammy that Braun badly wants the match with Sammy just to destroy him. Paul tells Sammy that he can have an out. Go to SmackDown, face the winner of Randy and Cena. And just like that, you're in the title picture for the world title. Braun is standing at the doorway and he is seething and smiling.
He's like, I'm gonna kill this man, Paul. You better make it happen.
Oh yeah,
Oh
man.
boy. Becky came out after that. She didn't waste any time. She took credit for attacking Bailey. Bailey, who's attacked her since 2019. She says, a friend of my enemy is my enemy. I had high hopes for Lyra, but she would never have won with Bailey. That she was already compromised. That she was a loser. Lyra comes out. She laughs at Becky's high hopes. She says, Bailey warned me about you. The illusion of Becky is dead, and I want to kick your ass tonight. And Becky says the man doesn't wrestle for Kansas City, but Lyra says backlash, and that's later made official. And Lyra pretty much leaves it off and says, I already know I'm a better wrestler than you. And Becky, in all of her Irishness, takes offense to that and just starts yapping about it as she runs around and gets drop kicked through the ropes by Lyra.
Yeah, the crowd in attendance didn't deserve this feud.
Kansas City doesn't deserve much of anything.
Yeah, they don't deserve their Super Bowls. They don't deserve Patrick Mahomes. They don't deserve the Royals. That might be a stretch, but
They don't deserve Bobby Witt.
yeah, they don't deserve Bobby Witt after they've gotten how many years of Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, what is it? It's gonna be. This is gonna
Got
be
drafted in
season
2017, so
season
three,
9.
like year 8.
Hey,
Crazy to think he's been in the league for 8 years.
crazy to think that's all he's been in the league for.
Shit. He really does have a case for the GOAT.
No, he doesn't.
He's climbing up there.
Yeah, climbing up there and having a case for it is something completely different. But we're talking about wrestling, not football.
Yes, take us to the next segment.
It was your segment, but I'll do it anyway. Aldis is backstage with Penta. He says you can't interfere in that. Penta apologizes. Aldis says, but there is a match between you and JD next week. Penta thanks him. Chad comes out, talks about El Grande Americano and how he beat Penta's useless brother. Penta dropped him and he did his emote.
All right, we got
I just why
Stephanie.
why are we still doing this gimmick?
I don't know.
It's
It's all
half the
gonna lead up
WrestleMania.
to Chad getting his ass beat by everybody on the AAA roster.
Honestly, sure. Why the hell not?
That's what's gonna
Oh
happen.
boy.
Next, we got Stephanie Vicaire versus Ivy Nile. It's Stephanie's second straight week with a match on Raw. And this was
Real
real
graps.
women's graps. Stephanie got the win off the SVB and the 1-2-3.
That
And
just feels like such that they should make that a shirt. That's such
of
easy
what, the
merchandise.
SVB?
SVB 1 2 3.
Hmm. I like that.
Kind of like Roman stack 'em, smash 'em, pin 'em,
I have not seen that shirt.
or is it smash 'em, stack 'em, pin 'em? Let
I
me
thought
see.
it was like something something leave.
That was Brock. Yeah, it's smash 'em, stack 'em, pin 'em. Here, I'm gonna send you this
Alright.
across the web.
While you are sending me that, I will take us into the next segment also. We have Aldous talking to AJ backstage about how he can bounce back after a loss from Logan Paul. And AJ says he can get back on the horse. Liv and Raquel and Dom walk in. Liv confirms her time off so she can shoot her new movie coming out. Dom demands time off as well because he's the champ, but Nick says workload doubles as champ and his request is denied. Uh, Styles turns to Dominic, and as they leave, he said he has an idea, and it seems like we might get a match between the two of them in the near future.
That wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I sent you the picture of the shirt. I think he wore this early Tribal Chief after he beat Edge and Bryan.
Yeah, after he stacked them.
Smashed him, stacked him, pinned him. Then we had Pat McAfee. I thought last week was a chance to write him off of the show, but apparently I was wrong. Pat addressed what Gunther did last week. Says, I want to be remembered for the good I did. He put Cole over. For everyone who doesn't like Pat McAfee, I'm kind of in that crowd lately where it's just like, shut up sometimes. But he puts Cole over. You can't not give him that. He will never not put over Michael Cole.
I love Pat. For me personally, I think number one, he's a good promo.
He's fun, but in the same way that Mater is fun until you hear him too damn much. I think he needs to look same way Tony Romo still needs to learn this. Let the moment breathe.
I think his commentary I'm not a fan of, but just to have that personality on commentary, it helps at times.
Oh, but we're gonna have him on something more than commentary because he asked Aldis to lift Gunther's suspension so he can get his hands on him. Aldis says, "I can't do that, but I can do this." And we're getting Pat McAfee versus Gunther for Backlash. Why are we doing this to Gunther?
This is to write Pat off of TV and then give uh Gunther a squash match.
You know what? It's gonna be even worse than that is it's gonna be when they bring out Goldberg to interfere
I
and have
I
Pat
saw
win the
the I
match.
saw that I saw that.
First, they have him tap out to Jay in 5 seconds, and then they have him face Pat McAfee at Backlash.
If Gunther
Oh my
if
god!
Gunther can carry Pat and Goldberg to a good match, put him in the Hall of Fame immediately.
Better yet, don't put him through this.
But next we have a backstage segment. Sammy gets approached by Jay. They talk about the decision. Jay watches Sammy go by, but he gets blindsided by Logan Paul. And what do we got next?
I'm gonna get to that in a second. This just Backlash right now feels like a hot pack of ass.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm excited for Becky versus Lyra though.
Yeah, that's like the only match on this card that's actually gonna be good wrestling.
I think Gunther v Pat will be a spectacle to watch. If that. Also, you can't forget about Randy versus John, but it seems like John's whole thing is like he's gonna ruin wrestling with shitty ass matches.
And I love Randy, but he's not the same Randy from 2009.
And a Logan Paul versus Jey Uso match, it does not speak to me at all.
It, it takes the air out of my lungs because I hate
Yeah,
it so much.
Backlash. Let's just say that this is definitely not Backlash 2000.
God, what even happened in Backlash 2000? What
Dude,
even
it was the
reminded
greatest B pay-per-view ever. It corrected all the mistakes that WrestleMania 2000 made.
me? Backlash 2000.
Everybody wanted The Rock to win the title, and when Triple H won at WrestleMania 2000, they had The Rock win the title in Backlash. They had
There
Stone
was
Cold come back.
there were most of these matches were under 12 minutes. Christian and Edge beat DX for the tag titles. Dean Malenko beat Scotty 2 Hotty for the light heavyweight championship. Bull Buchanan and Big Boss Man beat the APA. Hardcore Holly, Crash Holly beat Hardcore Holly. Jeff Hardy, Matt, Perry Saturn, and Taz for the Hardcore champs, which was only a 12-minute match for a six-pack match, which is kind of weird. Then there was a singles match between Big Show and Kurt Angle that ended in 2.5 minutes. TNA with Trish Stratus beat the Dudley Boys in a tag match. Eddie Guerrero with China beat Essa Rios, who had Lita for the European title. Then, some guy beat Jericho by DQ, and then The Rock beat Triple H with Mr. McMahon and Stephanie. I gotta go back and watch this. I was not born
Yeah,
when
this
this
is a
match took place.
pretty good PLE. This You'll basically find this on like a bunch of online lists as like the best B pay-per-view show that there
Did you
ever
hear how
was.
many? Did you
It
hear how
A
many
lot of
matches were
people
on that
say it's
card?
better than WrestleMania that year.
Did you hear how many matches are on that card? And Triple H is still gonna put 5 on each card.
Yeah.
God Almighty. But yeah, back to Raw. I feel like I'm losing my mind with wrestling. What the hell are we doing at this point? 13 episodes in and I've broken. I think count that down as a record. We'll see how long it takes me to lose my mind again. Seth wanted an answer, so he calls Sammy out to the ring. He pleaded with him, he wants you to take the outs so the friendship doesn't have to die tonight. Sammy basically said, I don't need a shot handed to me because I'm going to do it the right way like I've always done it no matter what, and you can go to hell. And this was great production because Seth's jaw tightens just as Braun's music hits. Because you can see him, he's like, bring out the guard dog. And then two of the worst spray tans I've ever seen in my life walk out of that ramp. Braun and Paul going for the match with Sammy. What do we think? What do we think about Sammy's answer here?
I, I I love it. This is definitely within Sammy's character. He wouldn't go to SmackDown, and I think this marks the beginning of the journey towards Sammy's world title.
Yeah, I remember there was a promo. Oh, I can't remember who made this edit, but I'm gonna look while I'm talking. I remember Sammy did a promo against the Judgment Day way back when they were still like Rhea, Dame, and Finn, and he was like, "I will fight the Judgment Day until the 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 5-on-1 until there is not a breath of air in my body." And that's why I think a lot of people remember were shocked or were worried that Sammy was going to turn heel on Jay when he came out to celebrate the title win with him. I don't think Sammy ever needs to be a heel again in his
No, he's
life.
too good of a baby face.
He's also too good of a dude. Like he's a really good person too.
For real.
I feel like there's just some lines you shouldn't cross when it comes to babyface, and with everything Sammy's done for like his activism, to just have him be the bad guy is like not a good look in the least. Oh, I found that edit. It is by at WRLD Wrestling on TikTok. It's a Sami
I'm not
Zayn
sure if
edit.
we can show it.
Probably not the edit, but you could probably just show like the user, hopefully, because this is a fantastic edit. It's Sami Zayn over My Hero Academia music, and it just fits so well. I'm gonna send you this
All right.
just so you know. This is like one of my favorite
But
things I've seen on this app.
but yeah, go ahead and take us through this last match.
Uh, it was just Sammy getting broken in half by Braun. He got hit with multiple spears. Sammy rolled to the ropes one last time. Another good bit of production. Seth was like, "Hey, you got one more chance, dude. Get out of here. Do what you need to do." And Sammy told him to go to hell again. Two more spears, a super spear. Ref called off the match. Uh, there was a full like a running spear around the ring outside. Seth actually stopped Braun from going after Sammy. Says there are people who have earned their respect and their compassion, but Sammy's made his bed and he has to lie in it. Curb stomp to Sammy. Seth, Braun, and Heyman stand tall, and it was just so funny because I watched this back when Seth like did his little crouch in the corner. He was pressing up against Braun, and you can see Braun giggling because he's like, "I'm not used to this, this shit." It's just Seth is maybe one of the more like blatantly homoerotic wrestlers in his life in the business because he doesn't care. He just does not care. Braun was giggling like a schoolgirl at the sight of it. But that was Monday Night Raw. Brendon's having some difficulties on the other end, so we're gonna go back to NXT. Had Joe Hendry starting off the show. He's been working his ass off for this last week. I gotta tell you, he was attacked by Trick actually at TNA Rebellion after he defended his title. He basically called Trick out, said he was a coward. I'll say your name and to make you appear. Dark State's music actually hits. They went down to the ring to powerbomb Joe, which is just yeah, no one's safe. One of my friends told me they should go after a woman to really show that no one's safe, but I just feel like that's unnecessary to some extent. I don't know. We had had earlier with Ava. This match was made official before the show began. Io Sky was attacked by Julia and Roxanne last week. She's in Ava's office for a match. She hasn't found a partner yet. Jordan Grace volunteers, so we've got the Juggernaut and the Genius of the Sky. I think Io might be the only woman on the roster that's shorter than Jordan Grace. I wrote this down, but then I looked at it and I'm like Zelina Vega.
Yeah, it's
Zelina
only.
is
Well, what about Roxanne?
Roxanne. I think is 5'2".
Roxanne's got to be the shortest woman on all of WWE, right?
Roxanne's Roxanne's 5'1".
Yeah, so she's got to be the shortest, right?
No, Zelina's 4'11".
Seriously?
I think so.
Huh.
I don't know. It depends on the listing. And then Jordan is 5'3".
All right.
She's a
Well,
very firm 5'3". I'll tell you what.
but after that we have a backstage segment Chemical X backstage talking about their losing woes with the WWE Women's Tag Titles and the Knockouts tag titles at Rebellion. Carmen is comforting them, and then Shanti the Adonis walks in and says not to worry about these losers. Uh, she tells them, hey, don't say that shit. It's not nice. Carmen has a match with Sol Ruka tonight, and after that, he said, we have a title match of which... What?
They didn't address this like at all again after that. I don't know. I don't know what was happening. But Brennan,
Oh,
your boy.
yeah. Lexus King
Take it.
versus Ricky Saints for the North American title. Of course, last week, Lexus lost his Heritage Cup to Noam Dar, so he's pretty pissed off. Lexus jumps Ricky early, and Ricky didn't even have time to get his jacket off. Ricky did his flaunting on the barricade, and
Say it like I wrote it, Brendan.
uh, you typed Ricky did his bullshit.
Yeah.
And that MFer Lexus King tried tuning up the band at one point, Ricky's Tornado DDT. You noted here that it is very, very cool.
It's very like effective because some tornado DDTs they do the high step off the rope. Ricky just kicks off like a swimmer. I don't know. I think
Yes.
it's a fun way to do it.
Rochambeau for the win, and Ricky retains.
I was waiting for Ethan Page to just come out, but no, it just went to commercial.
Maybe he's going to
I
be on the next uh, WWE show.
Ricky or Ethan?
Ethan.
Would be cool if Ethan was with the Seth group. I've seen some people talk
I
about
have
that.
seen a lot of people talk about him too.
I feel like the main two I've seen are Austin Theory and Ethan Page.
I would love either of those two. I also think
I
Carmelo would also be a good choice.
I do too, but also are you gonna really put Carmelo in Bronze Shadow again?
Not really, no.
I don't know. Um, I still think it should be a woman. Give him Julia and Roxanne. But yeah, we had a vignette with the culling. Sean pointed out all of you have fallen short in the various opportunities that would lead to the title. Izzy lost the North American ladder match. Brooks and Jensen and Vance lost the gauntlet match against Hank and Tank, and they won the titles. He says, Izzy, go take what you want, stand out from the strong women's division. And he tells the big two guys to go after the tag titles. He says, I'm all here for you, and we should all rise up and seize control.
Tony confronts Stax. Thought he and Stax would have a man-to-man conversation, but surprise, surprise, they didn't. Says he has new loyalty and that he knew Stax wanted to take the head seat. Even though Stax had stepped up, he was still a coward because he stabbed Tony in the back. Nobody has heard anything from Luca. Rizzo is in hiding. Stax is on the video feed on a bridge, and he calls Tony soft and that uh and uh
And
that
he left it. Yeah.
he left it to him to take the reins and put him in his place. He says Tony can't trust anyone, and some of the security attacks Tony in the ring. He screams that Stax will have to come down here and take it if he wanted to be the Don.
Is Luca dead?
He
Where
very
is he?
well could. He could just be in a broom closet somewhere.
Because there's a mob angle, so it's like he's either swimming with the fishies or he's gonna come back from some sabbatical and suddenly turn on Tony as well.
I have
I don't know.
no.
It's the way they shot it is so confusing to me.
It's like Breaking Bad.
It's like how can he not be dead if no one's heard from him? But also, like, why are they releasing Luca Crucifino? I don't know. It's just it's so weird. Noam Dar is the next segment. He was backstage. He has his Heritage Cup back. Longest reign ever for somebody. And Oro Mensa finally back on NXT television. And Metaphor is all back together for the first time in what felt like forever. And Lash says they need to talk about how much has changed. And then they come to the conclusion that they're going their separate ways. No! What are we doing here? It sounded like the Meta Girls were breaking up too. They didn't even win tag gold. Break. What are we doing? What are we doing? Sean is breaking up all of the good stables. Sean, what the hell?
After that, we got Sol Ruka versus Carmen Petrovich. Zaruka seemingly still hasn't broken up, and Zarya was eyeing that title a little bit. Maybe this had happened before, but Sol isn't wearing the knee brace anymore.
I noticed that in the middle of the match. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know if she wasn't wearing it for the ladder match, but she just wasn't wearing it anymore. So good on her. Good to
Yes.
see.
Soul Snatcher to retain the title, and Shantae was in the ring talking to Carmen, but she kicked him in the face and yelled back at him.
The Soul Snatcher needs to be protected like the Tombstone Pile Driver was. It's such a good finish. It needs to be protected by any means necessary.
Agreed.
We had Trick Willie backstage. Trick said Joe's name. He watched the entrance ramp. Joe didn't show. This is all just kind of to promote his appearance on an All American. Why the hell is that show still running?
I don't know. It feels like it's been around since like 2015.
This is going to be season 7.
Shit.
He called himself Hollywood. He called Joe local talent, and he's again demanding his title back from Oba. Oh, God. Ava comes out, says, "What the hell have you been doing with everything over the last week?" Trick said, "I'm the biggest talent here, and after Sunday, I'm the biggest talent at TNA as well." Ava says, "All right, you're going to take about 25 steps back because he has to win a 25-man battle royal next week to earn his title match at Roadblock."
After that, we
had
got
locker
in the
room
locker
segment.
room, Roxanne and Julia. They've become partners in this after working together long enough, and seemingly they are getting along.
Seems like it. They kind of just agreed to mutually hate Stephanie, and they both want the title. I don't know. We had Oba having an interview backstage with Kelly Kincaid. Oh, it's basically just called Trick a Child, so that'll beat him again. But then the Undertaker comes out and he says, "Remember when I said this is your yard?" He says, "It's only for now." Because Taker says he's got some guys from LFG coming after him soon. Those 3 are Shiloh Hill, Jasper Troy, and Anthony Luke. So this is going to be interesting.
We got Hank and Tank versus Brigham Mora. Challengers are whooping absolute ass to start off the match. Inamora's chops, you wrote here that they sound like shotgun blasts.
God, it hurt. Inamura is just so like. I mean this in the best way possible. He's so loud with his performance. There was one point where he fell off the turnbuckle, and it sounded like China falling out of a cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
He's so fun. He's funny.
But this match is essentially just big men doing big men things that they shouldn't be capable of. And Inamura kicked Briggs in the face, and Josh ate.
The pin. He ate the pin.
Yes, he ate the pin.
There we go. Then we had NQCC in the back. Miles is talking about everyone in the Battle Royal. Tavion says Charles isn't here. He's mad at Miles for teaming with Javon Evans last week. Miles says, "Hey, I'm in the Battle Royal. I don't care. I'm going to go win this thing." Tavion says he's worried about what Charlie will say. Miles basically says, "It'll be fine." And then Ren gives him some fortune cookie BS as Tavion walks away like, "What are you talking about?" I love Ren Sinclair, man.
We get a Dark State Twitter video. They're not worried about breaking the internet, but they are concerned about breaking Joe Hendry's. They say they don't believe, and all they want is just to wreck shit. And
They said, "Believe in Joe Hendry all you want, but we're just getting started."
yeah, they're just getting started. Whatever.
Brendon, cue the music. Chase U is back! Andre's cut his hair, he shaved his beard. Today is a new semester with a new agenda, as some squares being a nerd because Kale and Uriah showed up late. Andre Chase says, "Fuck your question. Chase U is back! Yes!"
We're backstage, Soul and Zarya. Kalani comes in and whines again, calling Soul a phony champ. Soul says she can step up whenever she wants. Zarya says she's not defending the title against her next week. Lonnie will have to get through Zarya first. Joe is in the medical facility, and Hank and Tank ask if he's alright. Joe needs his hands on Dark State. The Anks believe sounds like Hendry and Hank and Tank versus Dark State is going to happen.
The Anks. There's got to be another tag team. I'm sick of writing Hank and Tank. I don't know. That's going to be a very entertaining match for sure. Our last match of the night in the main event, we had Roxanne Perez and Julia versus Jordan Grace and Io Sky. And I just think it's funny. Roxanne's gear is literally the same thing, but a different color. Have you ever noticed that? She always has the bow. She always has the strap. She always has the top, the bottom, the boots. It's always the same thing with different colors.
No, I hadn't.
Oh, God. Everyone tried punching each other in the mouth right away. Julia was beating Io's ass. Did you see Jordan Grace just held Julia on her back and held her through Io's double stomp?
Yeah, I saw
Through.
that.
She is so strong. I need her to power bomb me. What? Who said that? This sequence rocked. Roxanne made a secret tag. She pulled Io off the ropes. There's a super kick and a tag. Northern Lights bomb to Io. Or a Northern Lights bomb from Julia. Tag, moonsault to Io. But Jordan broke the pin. Jordan and Julia actually just rolled around outside of the ring. And Roxanne went for Pop Rocks. And God, Io Sky is so good. She just backflipped out of it and kicked her and hit the over the moonsault for the win. Hello? That was awesome.
Yeah, pretty good match.
Yeah, final thing on SmackDown, or NXT, excuse me. Ava was in her office with Stephanie, and Steph's like, "Who's my next challenger?" Ava says, "We have a next week. I think it's next week. We have a number one contenders match between Jordan Grace and Julia for the number one contendership for the NXT Women's Title at Battleground." But yeah, that's it for NXT. I think we made good time today.
Yeah.
Got some final talking points here. Congrats to Meiko Satomura on her retirement match in Japan in her 30-year career. Rey Mysterio had his surgery, so I feel like we're not going to be seeing him for some months. Liv, like we talked about, taking some time off to film a movie she has the lead in. Carmella and Corey Graves are expecting their second child, so congratulations to them. Naomi also, I think in an interview, gave a quote that she wants to have a child soon as well, so she's probably going to be taking a break at some point. I think Rhea is also taking a break after Backlash, and there are rumors swirling of Bianca. I think something about Bianca and children. I could be completely wrong about that, but the NXT call-ups, the women's call-ups are going to be needed sorely. Got to tell you that.
Sounds
Brendon, you got
like it.
anything? Yeah, you got anything to add?
I think we're good.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Brendon once again. Thank you for being with us, to our viewers. And I'm hoping this audio doesn't come out sounding like garbage. That has been the 13th episode of the No Stipulations podcast. We're going to have some new stuff coming out for you guys soon, hopefully. But for Brendon, I'm Logan. We'll see you guys around. Later.